So now it's time for the fun part of the show. So y'all know what the main topic is. I don't think Marvin, he don't know what it was. It's your favorite topic. We talking about interracial relationships.
Ooh.
So
Go Fever. Wesley Snipe. Okay.
So basically, okay, out of everybody in here, how many of y'all have been or basically dated
Yes.
a white?
Yes.
I have.
Why? I mean, either white, Asian, anything that's not you.
Hispanic,
It's relationship.
yeah.
Right. So anything, yeah. Let's not make it just white, just black and white over.
I mean, that's how they look at it.
I know that's how they look at it, but
Right.
They do, though.
but let's be
Yeah.
realistic too.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody is pretty much okay.
Dated outside of the race.
Mix, does that count too?
We'll get to. I will get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll
So
get
that's
to
a whole
that.
nother animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll get to that in the midst of this conversation.
Okay. So, does anyone have like an issue with
No.
interracial relationships? So when you see them, because like in Portland, it's mostly white anyway. So you see a lot of dudes that have. You'll see some dudes that have black girls, got Asian girls, got whatever. And you see dudes that got like a certain type of like white chick, and then some people kind of like turn their nose up at him and it's like, oh, you know, why is he with her? Or vice versa, it could be a black girl with a white dude, and they look at them and it's like, how you get her? And it's like, what's the difference between me and him or something like that? So like, y'all look at it any different? Y'all just kind of just like, whatever.
Yes and no. I feel like if you love this person, it doesn't matter. You know, it
That's the
doesn't-
person. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if I love a person,
Or like you're asking him if he sees somebody else.
Yeah.
yeah.
From the outside looking in. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
so I feel like it's yes and no because it's like, okay, they must love each other, okay. But then another times when I look,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, okay, I kind of know why he's with her. But it's not because of the race. Sometimes it's just like,
It's a status
Yeah,
symbol.
yeah,
for
it's
some
like,
people,
if
man.
I see one is better looking than the others, it's like, okay, they got
But,
money,
okay,
you know.
true or false? Majority of black men who date white women, their women are not that attractive. They may have like specific assets, but majority of the time they are not the most attractive.
Yes and no. I've seen some good, I've seen some bad.
Mhm.
More often than not, you see more what?
It's probably more like a 50-50 for me.
It depends where you go because like here, yes. If you go to Florida, no.
No, yeah.
If you go to Vegas, yes.
Women are different in every state.
Every
right?
state. Here I feel like
Ducks.
here. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I don't really see like this crazy like butt ugly, you know, chicks that are non-black chicks that black men are dating. Like it's hit or miss, honestly. I feel like up here though, it's more of culture. You know what I mean? 'Cause I feel like for instance, like a black dude. I mean, I've dated white, I've dated Asian, I've dated. I don't know if I dated Hispanic before. I can't remember, but but it's really about your surroundings and the culture and what you kind of like, you know. I guess at least for me, I'm not gonna say it for everybody.
So what you're saying is basically what you kind of grow up around, what you see all the time is what you become
Adapted to.
And that is 100. So I can 100% relate to that. So elementary school, middle school that I went to was predominantly white. Out in Gresham it was Reynolds Middle School, and I went to Alder Elementary School. So all I seen was predominantly, especially at Alder, I took a lot of Spanish classes. So I seen a lot of Latino chicks and all white girls. And I went to middle school. I can remember off the top of my head one black girl that I went to school with, and two other black dudes that I was in middle school with. So I was naturally attracted to white women because that's all I seen. The only black women that I seen were the ones in my family. And I'm not going to be attracted to them. Yeah. So all I see is white girl all the time, Latino. So at first I didn't pay attention to the black girls because it's something I just didn't see. It wasn't something that was common for me that was just around me that much. So I was just naturally attracted to white girls. It wasn't until I finally I kind of grew up with so 8th grade and going to Benson. I was like, oh yeah, okay, okay. Let's see if I can see a little bit of melanin in it. So I kind of shifted more towards talk to more to my own. But not to say it was a bad thing, but that's all that I ever seen. So for some people, especially growing up here in Portland, it's such a norm because a lot of these schools that we go to are predominantly white.
Right, yeah.
Or when you have kids of your own in the predominantly black schools, they don't really put that much into them. So not that you don't want your kid to go there, but you want your kid to get a good education. So you're gonna put them into a school that's
sacrifice. Yeah.
So you want to put them into a school that's going to provide a better education for them, which probably means going to be a predominantly white school, sad to say. So then, more than likely, they're going to be attracted to whatever the school is most popular with.
Your kids go to school in Vancouver?
No, they still go to school here in Portland.
Is it a white school, predominantly white school?
They've got a mixture of a little bit of everything at that school.
It's pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was vice versa. Like, I went to school, when I met Tavio, it was like a predominantly black school. I like the black chicks there, you know. And
What school is this?
CLC.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to Harvey Scott, which was more of a mixed school. It had Latinos, it had Asians, white, few blacks, you know. I kind of started liking Asians more, you know. But at the same time, I felt like I was more into that culture. So I was kind of seeking that.
When you say you were seeking that culture, what do you mean?
I had a lot of Asian friends, you know, and I like how, you know, their unity is different, you know, because each culture got their own things, you know.
Right.
And the Asian, they're really just unified. You know, you go to the Asian market, they got the whole block,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And it's like, I love the food, you know, pho, love it, you know, so.
He said pho.
Got a pho.
Oh, yeah,
Come snatch you up.
someone else said that to me today too.
Your Vietnamese
Yeah, it
partner.
was stuck in my head. I was like, oh, like, no, bro. It's pho. That's what I said. Potato. Tomato.
One thing Will said earlier was that it's like a status symbol. So like,
For some
For
people,
some,
yes.
it gets to get a little bit of money. I was saying, well, man, I'm not gonna be bothered with these,
Yeah.
with them.
so yeah, with that, so like, the history of like black people is that, you know, we couldn't date to do anything with like white women in general, and so like sometimes like people would sneak out, they would do certain things and whatnot, and so now it's, I mean, you can do whatever at this point,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it depends on who you're with, or like, you know, just who you know that who are dating white women. Do you think that they look at them as a status symbol? I know sometimes there's a story behind everybody who says it. It's like some people they rather date a white woman because they're less drama, they're less trouble. What's what they say?
That is a fucking myth. Dating a white chick means less drama. That is a fucking myth. Now the drama may be different. You know what I mean?
I think more a better statement is white women are typically, in my experience, more submissive.
Submissive, yeah.
Very much more
Yeah.
submissive. And black women, they're gonna hold and stand their ground.
Or just any
And if
culture,
you-
yeah.
right.
Any
Look,
race.
black,
outside,
Latinos,
yeah.
right? They're gonna hold their ground. And if you can't handle, if you don't want to deal with that, then maybe you want to be with the. Like, I mean, but you don't. Do you always want somebody that's just gonna say yes, honey, yes, honey, yes? No. Sometimes
No.
give me
Some
your
people
honest
do.
opinion,
Right.
right? And some people
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah, so I mean, like, it was a point where, I mean, because like I've never dated Ben or anything like with a pretty much anything out of my. I've dated a mixed chick like once, but that was the closest thing. But a lot of times, it sometimes just comes down to. I mean, you could say it's like what they like, what they've been around, they kind of get used to it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, so what would y'all say about the people who won't even date their own race? They honestly prefer to say, "Oh, I see them as friends."
That's my thing. Like
I know I got a buddy like that.
Even though I've dated within my race, I've dated outside of my race, but I would never ever I would never ever dismiss my own race. You know what I mean? Ever. You know what I mean?
It's like you're ashamed of your own
Yeah.
self,
Yeah.
almost. It's
Like
kind of a
that
disgrace.
to me, that's bogus as fuck. And no, I guess obviously at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want to do. Like everybody has their free will. You can do what you want to do. Now, if you, cause I hear white chicks all the time. Oh, I don't want to date white dudes.
I dated a girl like that.
Yeah.
She would date anybody. Like she didn't have a problem with either black, Mexican, Asian. Like she dated, but she just would not. I don't know what it was, what her
Yeah.
history was. And sometimes it's based off of just that. Sometimes just your history of that particular race, and then so you form this judgment on that particular, which is blanket statements are always stupid to make.
Yeah,
but people do it because that's their experience, that's their life. So they say, you know, whenever I've dealt with these kind of people, this is the outcome, and I don't want to deal with that no more. So then they think that dealing with another kind, that nothing that won't happen.
What I've noticed is that a lot of people, like they say, I don't want to deal. You know, I want to deal with black guys. They're like, I don't want to deal with black chicks.
Serena Williams.
They're too ghetto, and they all like this and like that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, regardless of what the race is, people attract the same type of people. So you don't just got a one relationship, you'll go to the same one with a different person. So
Right.
you're gonna keep repeating until you change something about you or how you're looking at people.
Right.
You're gonna find the same exact person in every person you talk to, just because of how you are.
And what you're attracted to, so you're gonna, if you're attracted to that, even subconsciously, you might not even know consciously that you're attracted to that, but you're gonna be drawn to people who are dramified and or women that are dramified and
Everybody got a type.
everybody,
Yeah.
whether you're married or not.
Some people like that.
Some people like that shit. I don't.
Right.
No.
Look at take Kanye for example. He said in Gold Digger, he's like, he'd get rich, he's gonna leave for a white girl. But
That's what the fuck he did.
you know, he went from Amber Rose to Kim K. And Amber Rose and Kim K, I put them on the same pedestal. You know, same thing.
But Amber is part of it. Yeah, she is black.
Yeah.
She's mixed.
She's mixed. Yeah.
She got a big booty.
I didn't know that's all fake, but I didn't know that she was. I actually had to look it up. She's mixed like 3.
Yo, let me say this. I mean, I think it's happening. Let me ask you guys the question too, based on that. So, you guys think that there are more interrelationships? Interracial relationships. Let's say interrelationships. Like you dating yourself. But interracial relationships nowadays than it was per se.
Absolutely.
20 years ago?
Absolutely. Or it's more, they will show it, because back then,
true.
Mama said, you better not bring a white girl. If she don't share this, if she can't use the same brush, you know what your mom used to say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, no, absolutely not that it happened back in the day.
Bring no white girl to my house.
Right.
Or bring no,
They might date them.
Whose mama has it?
They might, they might date them. They might sleep with them. But at the end of the day, when it comes to who they gonna spend their life with, nah, they
or at least having kids with.
Right. That was an absolute no.
Now, let me say this. I'm gonna say the reason why it's becoming more prevalent nowadays is because out of nowhere, all these other races of women have got ass. Their bodies have become way more curvaceous.
Something in the water.
Something's in the water, or it's the hormones in the food. Because, you know what I mean? Especially 30 years ago, around the time we were born, man, it was all about flat asses and shit. And you had just a few black dudes that were dating outside of the race.
But also, what was shown on TV is different than what's shown on TV now. Like, it wasn't glorified.
And the fashion nowadays,
it wasn't
too.
glorified like it is now.
Yeah, and the fashion is more about glorifying or bringing attention to your curvatry.
Right.
So I guess the fashion. Yeah. But I feel like in the 80s, the fashion was kind of tight.
It was. But how often did you hear about back then a white girl wanting to get butt implants or making her lips look full?
Surely, I ain't gonna date no
How
fake
often?
bitch.
How often did you? I mean,
Sorry.
that was just
fake female. Sorry.
But they did it in the beginning back then, though.
Yeah, right. But you can see them try to do what, now everybody's trying to get kind of a body.
Everybody.
But at the end of the day, I feel like all women was always into that Barbie. You know, they wanted
I say back in the day, a lot of people were like, the Barbie, looking like a Barbie was like the main experience, basically what you were looking to do. So a lot of white girls would definitely kind of be on that kind of mentality and whatnot. But now, with all the different video models, things like that,
It's super diverse. Man.
It is very diverse, but you almost say all non-black people are trying to necessarily look black.
Yeah, we're trying to portray that energy. Or not that energy, but that
swag.
That swag, that swag. You know what I mean? Of letting it flaunt and being proud of it.
Right.
And especially the ones that have it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? It was this funny. I don't know if y'all seen Eddie Griffin stand up, where he was he was like, I don't know what the fuck is in the water, but no, he said, I don't know what the fuck they're eating or drinking, but he was like, keep it up. Keep it up. You gotta be dying, because it is a little different, and it's becoming, I guess, as black men, we've always, naturally been attracted to the more curvaceous and, you know what I mean,
thicker,
type of women,
right.
and thicker women,
Right.
stuff like that. And now that I feel like that
It's
other
possible
races,
though now. So that's
Yeah.
the thing that's different. Before they didn't have all the
Mhm.
plastic surgeries and all
Right.
that. Now,
yeah.
We see a
But
bunch of-
even just
a
the
bunch of
even the natural
Build-A-Bears,
ones,
bro.
though. I'm solely focused on like the natural women are curvy.
oh, they hit the gym now. Now,
And
now
the
there's
gym,
so
yeah,
many
too,
fun
they're
access to the
building
gym.
butts and shit now too. So
Yeah.
it's just like, damn.
Yeah. Because before, it's like you never really saw a lot of females at the gym back in the day.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, early 90s, maybe you see them on the bike, and doing a little,
They're squatting,
have the
building
little
butts.
leggings on,
But they wasn't doing nothing like lifting like you see now.
Now they're
It was just
lifting.
a bunch of cardio.
Yeah.
They're just trying to stay thin.
Yeah.
And tight waist and fat ass. That's all they're basically doing.
Yeah.
So you dated outside your race, so
Mhm.
you pretty much the only one in this room who hasn't. So let me ask you a question. What do you feel? What do you think when you see a black dude dating a white chick, Asian chick, Hispanic, whatever, Latino, and then or a black chick dating a white dude, Latino man, Asian dude? What do you think?
So I mean, I don't see a whole lot of like the other races, like the Asian.
Uh-huh.
We see them like sometimes,
But you don't pay attention to it.
I don't really pay
Right.
attention to it because
Right.
like what's kind of like ingrained in my head is like you see a black dude with a white girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now I become a little bit more open to it only because it's like if you've been with that person, like y'all building together, you got kids
Right,
and whatnot.
right.
That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when I initially see a black dude and a white girl, I look at him
Mm-hmm.
and I look at her. I look at what they physically look like.
Yeah.
They're just their physical
Who's getting the come on?
appearance. Essentially. And so what I'll do, like, I guess, I kind of judge him in a sense, but it's like, yeah, I mean, I'd probably judge him a little bit, just off, like, just a natural instinct.
Like, what is he getting out of her?
Right.
Or like, what is
Something
coming
like that, it's
or
like, I mean, sometimes
or like,
you
sell out.
yep.
Yeah, but I mean, but I think we've all thought that at one point that because we just know the history of back in the day when girl got caught with the black dude at home,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden daddy don't like it, and then he get caught up in some stuff that that not everybody, just a bunch of lies, and so that's just ingrained in our head. So when we see that now, like, man, I hope this is the right thing for you, because if daddy don't know, he in for a rude awakening.
Right.
So, other than me, Willie, only person in here that got killed.
Okay.
Allegedly. So, would you say just like blanket statement? You want your kids to marry what?
I want them to be happy. I'd be happy to see them with a black man or my son with a black girl, but if they are truly happy and they're actually good for them and not toxic, that's all I can go for. I want you to be happy, and I want the person to be good for you and good to you. That's the most important. We all want our kids to be respected and loved.
I gotta ask you.
What about yourself?
Shit. I would prefer, like you said, I would prefer my kids to marry, their own race.
Yeah.
I mean, I would maybe go for.
I just think that all derives from just.
I don't think it was like, you got a Mexican dude or Mexican, like, we wouldn't even think twice, like, it's nothing. But it's only particularly when they're white. That's when the red flags come up, like, hey, you might have that conversation with them, like, hey, be careful. Like, I'm not saying that they're a bad person, but it's not necessarily them. They've got family too, and not all of them might not accept you because of who you are. So you got to have that
Okay,
discussion.
so let's flip this real quick. Okay, so let's say your son won't marry a black man. Is that on the same level? Is that okay or?
In my head, no.
Absolutely not.
No. Like,
No.
I wasn't raised that way. Like now, I'm not like it's cool. Like there's a lot of gay people changing and shit. The thing is, like, there's so much that you can be. Somebody posted something like I think it was an application. There's like 16 different options to choose for what you are, what you want to be. Like seen by
were you born with a pair of balls or not? Period.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's all it comes.
It's
not
just
that
too
difficult.
much stuff, and so like I mean now.
If you got them cut off and you want to be recognized as a woman, then that's on you. You can mark a woman, but I think it's not that difficult.
I'm not. I wouldn't. Go for it. I mean, it's like if my when the stuff that don't happen, but like it's hard now because like say when your kid come up to you and it's like, oh, I like girls or I like boys, and like it's the same sex. As a black man and how we grew up, that's not gonna fly. Like you're not gonna be like, oh, you know what? Okay, I understand. Especially because they try to have kids transition at like 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like I was going to mention, it's all about self-preservation. So when we say self too, that means our offspring. So when we say like no towards a lifestyle, doesn't mean like we don't like those people, but we want our seed to carry on, and you can't carry on your seed if those that type of lifestyles are being lived,
Right.
blah blah. And then when it comes right down to interracial relationships too. Now, we all know being black comes with rhythm, it comes with all these different intricacies that other people of other races don't naturally have. Am I lying?
No, that's facts.
Am I lying?
You're not lying. This is funny.
So I get what I'm saying is I get like when our parents or somebody say no, they don't want us messing with a white girl. They don't want us messing with anybody else out of race because as black people, this is some really I'm speaking right now. We have certain things that other people don't have,
Right.
and we don't want those gifts to, possibly not be there. To be honest.
So as y'all heard that basically it was something they said that was it like 20 something years, 20 or whatever years from now, majority of the population is going to be
Mixed.
like mixed.
Yeah.
I see that. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
becoming
Especially here.
yeah.
In Oregon.
Like especially the West Coast. It's the West Coast.
Right.
Yeah. Even from Washington on down to California.
Right.
Yeah. Only
More of the progressive
of the progressive states. Yeah.
And you get down south and it's still.
And let me put it out there. There's some fine ass white chicks. There's some fine ass Latinas. Some fine ass Asian chicks. Don't get it twisted. And there's some fine ass black women for sure as well. Like
Right.
duh.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I just have to say that.
Just personal preference.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like everybody can do what they want to do.
Right. And sometimes
Yeah.
people just want the experience, or I've never been with this, so I'm gonna try. Sometimes it's just a phase.
Curiosity.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Then you get turned
Oh,
out.
because
You're my first.
I remember I was reading
Alright.
something too. It was talking about, and it was like some little small article. And they did like a little stat sheet on it, talking about it was, I think it's particularly just black and white, and then they were saying how many black in this group of men, how many black men have dated white women, and then the same group for how many these white women dated black men, and then I guess kind of the gist of it, they were like, well, would you actually marry a black man? Like actually want to have a baby, have a family with him, and then the percentage was a lot lower. They all wanted the experience of being with a black man, but they didn't want to
Really?
be with
yeah,
a black
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So you feel what I'm saying?
I always
Yeah.
see that the opposite because they're like, oh, I love your lips. I want my kids to have big lips and
It was
curly hair.
exactly. They wanted the experience of sex, but they didn't necessarily want the
Oh,
experience
because of the whole Mandingo.
exactly. But they didn't
yeah.
necessarily want to be black. You know what I mean? Because to be with a black man, you're gonna go through some stuff and see some stuff. If you got kids that you've never had to go through, or you're not gonna know how to explain.
We call it a wigger, or
You're not knowing that, when you got a mixed kid, regardless if they 50% or whatever, they're always going to be considered a nigga. I don't care how you look at it. They got a little bit of melanin, they're always going to be black.
that dominant genetic.
You'll never recognize the white gene, and that's difficult for some people.
You know what's funny though? Because I don't know if you guys ever seen Mike Conley's kid. Because Mike Conley's, he has a kid by a white chick. His kid look white.
Like straight up.
Yeah. Like, I was like, dang, is that even his kid? But he looks like him, but he just looks like a white
Super,
version
super
of
light
it. Yeah,
skin.
super, yeah. And super duper fine hair. Like, that's more towards like that Caucasian, side of things, side of the spectrum. But
That's something that you know, I've got family that interracial kids, and what sucks is that the kids, they haven't really been around their black side, which is a disadvantage to them because the world is
fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't. He like
Oh
a
my
white boy.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible. Maybe as he get older, he might
Yeah,
thicken up and
get some pigment to him.
Yeah.
All right, so this is my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw him, I was like, damn, this.
I mean, he got a little tone to his skin.
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but
He looks like he's like 3 different things.
Yeah.
right,
What is? He's just black and white.
black and white.
Like, it looked like I thought he was like
No, he's like air.
Airedale or
Yeah.
something.
I thought he was like Eastern, you know, and then I found out it was my cousin.
yeah, even Easter somewhere. Yeah. Wow.
That's the thing. Like with black people, it was a meme went around a long time ago. Like black like a black woman and a black man can make various color of children,
Right.
Mhm.
but mixed couples can only make one color.
No.
No, I mean
Oh,
typically they'll come out. They'll usually the yellow.
I think
Typically
it's
come out
hit or
yellow.
miss, bro. Because like I said, you got like my Collins kid looks like
That's just an odd one.
yeah.
That's a one-off.
Yeah.
And then like girls we went to high school with, I didn't even know they were mixed until I asked. I was like, oh shit, your mom's white?
Facts.
I ain't gonna say her name. No, not Chris. No, not her. I ain't gonna say no names, but then you can see like Chris was obviously she looks mixed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, but you have like certain other people. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you kind of can't. Cause
Yeah.
it's like
You get thrown
They're
off.
here.
I know I know you something. I just can't quite
Yeah.
put my finger on it.
Cause like I've been told before that I thought I was mixed.
People be thinking I'm mixed.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Because they expect them to be me or Tay Bell's color.
Yeah, like at all at all times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because my dad is like super light skinned, but my dad is still my grandmother's is you guys' color.
Right.
I mean, I think my grandfather, we don't know him. I think he was like super like high yellow, but he was black too. But my dad's just super light skinned, so he put my mom and my dad together. He just give me, I'm like just like the right in the middle. Yeah, but my brothers, you guys' color.
Right. That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
It's like my kid. What my daughter? She came out. She was like real yellow. Like she's like golden brown now. But like my son is almost like Willie's color.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so
That would be funny.
Your girl's a little darker though, right? Than you, or about the same color?
she's like just like a little bit darker than me. But like her side of her family, like one of her aunts is high yellow. Ashley.
Yeah.
She's yellow.
Yeah.
And so, and then on my side, like I have a couple people who have actually married white, so they got mixed kids.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of my family is mostly just like some of them is like light skinned, some like slightly a little bit darker. And so when you see like all my cousins, when it's like 100 million of them, they're all various colors. Like most of them are all like my color or your color. There's a couple of them that's like a little bit darker. But like a lot of them are pretty much the same consistent color.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it depends, but like a lot of times, like you look at a average mixed person now, the only way, if you don't know, like there's this girl we went to school with, I thought she was mixed the whole time, and she was like, I finally asked her one day, I was like, so what are you mixed with? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like you mixed, right? Because she lives with like her stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I know it's not her real mom or anything, but I was like, well, you're not mixed? She was like, no, like I'm black. I was like, what does your mom and dad look like?
Yeah.
It's like, how are you so damn yellow looking and you're full black?
Because sometimes it passes the gene. Sometimes
Right.
it skips the gene.
Well, yeah. So it's like you sometimes like with Desi, like we can tell she's mixed.
Right.
Like she looks
Right.
like a typical mixed person.
Right.
But like some of them, like you look at them like you have no idea. Some that like their features are more dominant, they have more black dominant traits.
Yeah,
than just
yeah,
light
yeah,
skin.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when you be like, you're your daddy's kid.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell.
No, I guess the biggest thing when it comes to interracial is that, like, for one, if you're a white girl dating a black man, learn how to do black hair. Because how often do we see their hair looking tough because they just don't know? And two, make sure your kids get in touch with their black side, man. Because If they
Both
don't,
sides.
right? Because if they don't, they're gonna have a rude awakening as they get older. Because if they're only in touch with their white side, and then they got people, looking at them all funny, or people talking like certain things that we notice people talk to you a certain way.
Yeah.
We know why they're saying it, but they might not recognize it. So you must get in touch with your heritage, the way you are.
But okay, yeah, I agree with that. But how many times have we seen where there's a legitimate mixed kid who basically kind of has an option? They choose what side they want to either claim and or take more, vision to. So they basically choose, I want to be, I'm black. You're mixed, but you have a lot of black friends, so you're more identified with being black.
And you'll have mixed people who say I'm black, even though they're obviously mixed, because that's who they want to identify with the most too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In America, that's the only thing that they're going to identify with, is you being black.
But really, in all actuality, you're mixed. They're a hybrid of
It's like
two different races.
the best example we can bring up, Obama. Nobody ever talks about him being white. And every time something bad happened, that black president, they never ever acknowledge the white side. Ever.
He looks more black than mixed.
He does.
Because he has more of the features, like the lips and the
nose, ears,
all that,
Tiger doesn't really claim the black side.
He never has. He said he was Asian American.
Well, his mom, he doesn't claim black?
No.
Because his mom was like Filipino or something, right?
His dad's black.
And his dad's like,
His dad is black as us.
But like looking at Tiger, though, you can't really tell he's something until you see his mom. You're like, oh, but his mom is
But
like,
you can tell
his mom's a dark Asian too, though. She's like a dark Filipino.
You can tell he's black.
Yeah.
Or Hispanic, Asian.
He's not white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's another good example that he just did not claim his black side.
Yeah.
At all.
Yep.
Yeah, Tiger Woods don't claim.
And Sammy Sosa, I'm really confused on.
Sammy Sosa
I'm so confused.
Sammy Sosa's a black Dominican.
Not no more.
Turned the color backdrop.
Him and Kim.
The white part.
Yeah. They messed their stuff all up.
I don't even understand why.
I don't know. That's a mental disorder.
It's America. It's better to be white. That's what they.
Well, I don't think it's America. I think it's low key global.
Yeah.
Because like when you got the darker complexion, it's like okay, he's working in the field. You know what I'm saying? He's working outside, so he's not as wealthy. Right. If you got someone who's pale skin, it's like
that goes into history. Like they talk about that with the Irish.
Yeah.
Like you could tell if you had the darker pigmented or darker toned skin, you were out in the field.
Yeah.
So they would literally breed with each other, family or not family, and stay inside, try to be as pale as possible to kind of show some sort of royalty, because that means you're not outside working in the fields.
And then he brought up like global part too, especially with like the Latina culture countries, like Dominican, like
in South America,
Yep.
how like there's really like way more people of color in those areas, but they only put on TV the European whitewash.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
But we are actually there's still more of a melanated population in those on those continents. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's like here we just made it big to be racist. Like, okay, we're gonna make a system so this cannot happen.
Yeah.
Other countries is more just like, yeah, we just don't really want to mess with you guys. We'd rather mess with the European.
Yeah.
You know.
And they
I mean, it's systematic too, though.
They systematically do that, right?
Yeah.
Because whenever we're portrayed anywhere, it's always you got it. Like you see him in a movie, he talks a certain way, the same way.
Yeah.
If he's played some sort of role, it's some kind of demeaning role, never a role of prominence or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely systematic, and they've made it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got black Mexicans, you got black Puerto Ricans, you got black Dominicans, Cubans, like, but you got white ones too. All and in Mountain White, all that comes from the conquistadors who came over and took over the land,
Yeah.
and then brought over people to settle. So and then over time mixed in, but that's another story for another day.
But it's so weird because I went to Colombia and I was talking to a girl over there, and I just told her like, man, what's up with the black people over here? Like, how do they treat us over here? And she was like, you guys are gangsters over here, like
that's all they're showing on TV. That's all they're showing on TV.
You guys are feared over here. I'm like, damn, even over here, and it's weird,
Crazy.
Just they want everyone to think that we're animals, and they've done a good job of portraying that picture.
Shit, we done a good job of helping them do it too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, facts.
That's true.
That's yeah.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah,
Right.
A whole nother animal.
Right.
Next week.
But yeah, as far as like relationships, again, as for me personally, I understand the preferences of staying with your own, and then but at the end of the day, everybody's gonna do what they want to do. Just be mindful, like in regards to sharing and try. Cause like what's gonna happen is like two different. Most likely it's gonna be two different cultures.
Extremely.
So it will cause confusion for the offspring if there is any offspring that comes out of that interracial relationship. So just be mindful of that and just know what you're getting yourself into.
It would have been real good to have the two people who were in those relationships or have mixed kids
Yeah, to be here.
But too bad.
That would have been a good battle. Tate
it
versus
would-
Thomas.
Well, Tate, because
No,
Tate is very pro-black,
Yeah.
and then Thomas he's got mixed kids, so
And so does Sims.
And so
Simply, that's what he should
Yeah,
do.
so I mean we
and
can
it Sims has two kids. He has two kids that are full black and then two kids that are mixed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the dynamic for that.
Whole nother animal.
Right.
Yeah.
we might do a part.
I do a part 2 of this. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, it's really in depth,
Yeah.
So we got the black side so far.
Because my take on it, like, I have no issue with interracial relationship, but I love to see a strong black couple.
Yeah.
I love
same.
love to see that.
Yeah, we
But I have
probably
no
wrap
issue
this
with
up. But
the trade.
one thing, that's what I was gonna say. So I forgot where I heard this from, but basically it was like once you start, breeding with other races, like it's not that your blackness goes away, but like the strongness of like I'm trying to think of the word that actually said. Yeah, basically the essence of like your black whatever your blackness whatever. It's
Right.
not going to be the same if you have a child like with the Asian or something like
It
that.
depends as you raise them.
Yeah, but not as
The essence though, like
No, it's like having like a full blooded
Not
black.
kind of the
Yeah.
intricacies that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Like that will fade. I mean,
But not necessarily though.
Unless you're Latino, they actually got their little
Yeah,
moves too.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
I mean, but like, let's say you got a kid straight off the bat. You're like, okay, you're gonna dance, you're gonna do music, and you're gonna do sports. And just from an early age, I mean, just from a muscle memory.
but that's like also
That's
but
everybody.
putting the stereotype on it. So like you black, so you got to do this,
Yeah.
this, and this. Like not necessarily. You know what I
No,
mean?
but you know what I'm saying. It's just like how you
easier
raise a
said
kid.
than done.
Right. Right.
It's like you can have a person, black couple, they have kids, and their son somehow just doesn't have rhythm. You know? He just doesn't have rhythm. You're like, damn, bro.
I know
Yeah.
somebody like that
You
though.
know-
I know somebody like that. He didn't know there's no rhythm at all, but
But
he grew up around predominantly all white too. So I mean, he didn't have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's kind of
It's also it's a product of your environment too. Your
Environment.
You see mom and dad there in the living room cutting up, dancing over, just having fun or whatever. So what you gonna do as a kid, as a little kid, you gonna mimic mom and dad.
Exactly.
That's your biggest idols at first, you know.
Yeah.
So that's where it come from, you
Yeah.
know.
For sure. Yeah.
All right.